I have acknowledged in more than one video my inability to fulfill the role of Bodhisattva as it's articulated within the Mahayana Sutras. That role is described in such sublime terms, and I've shared recitation of many descriptions of it, hoping that perhaps it can reach some who would be more capable than myself, more willing than myself to exert the effort to be able to fulfill some of its excellent qualities. One of the most excellent qualities, of course, of Buddhists in general and of Mahayanists in particular, particularly the Bodhisattvas, would be with regard to meat eating. And one of my subscribers asked about meat eating, vegetarianism, even veganism. And I have a good friend, a close friend, someone who I have breakfast with every week, he is a vegan, he's a Baha'i, and I greatly admire him having evolved that particular set of life choices. But myself, I continue to be carnivorous, and I have to acknowledge that as a source of repentance. For any of you who wish to follow this pattern of life choices regarding eating of meat, or who already are vegetarian or vegan, it was brought to my attention by one of my subscribers that Chapter 8 of the Lankavatara Sutra talks in great detail about this lifestyle and about this as one aspect of the Bodhisattva ideal. So, in support and encouragement to you all who may be oriented or wish to orient yourselves in the direction of that lifestyle choice, I wish to recite some of that chapter of the Lankavatara. At that time, Mahamati, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, asked the Blessed One in verse, and again made a request, saying, "Pray tell me, Blessed One, Tathagata, Arhat, fully enlightened one, regarding the merit and vice of meat eating. Thereby I and other Bodhisattva Mahasattvas of the present and future may teach the Dharma to make those beings abandon their greed for meat, who, under the influence of the habit energy belonging to the carnivorous existence, strongly crave meat food. These meat-eaters, thus abandoning their desire for its taste, will seek the Dharma for their food and enjoyment, and regarding all beings with love as if they were an only child, will cherish great compassion toward them. Cherishing great compassion, they will discipline themselves at the stages of bodhisattvahood and will quickly be awakened in supreme enlightenment. Or, staying a while at the stage of Shravakahood and Pratyekabuddhahood, they will finally reach the highest stage of the Tathagatahood. Blessed One, even those philosophers who hold erroneous doctrines and are addicted to the views of the Lokayata, such as the dualism of being and non-being, nihilism and eternalism, will prohibit meat-eating and will themselves refrain from eating it. How much more, O world leader, he who promotes one taste for mercy and is the fully enlightened one. Why not prohibit in his teachings the eating of flesh, not only by himself, but by others? Indeed, let the Blessed One, who at heart is filled with pity for the entire world, who regards all beings as his only child, and who possesses great compassion in compliance with his sympathetic feelings, teach us as to the merit and vice of meat-eating, so that I and other Bodhisattva Mahasattvas may teach the Dharma." Said the Blessed One, Then, Mahamati, listen well and reflect within yourself. I will tell you. Certainly, Blessed One, said Mahamati, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and gave ear to the Blessed One. The Blessed One said this to him: For innumerable reasons, Mahamati, the Bodhisattva, whose nature is compassion, is not to eat any meat. I will explain them. Mahamati, in this long course of transmigration here, there is not one living being that, having assumed the form of a living being, has not been your mother, or father, or brother, or sister, or son, or daughter, or the one or the other, in various degrees of kinship, and when acquiring another form of life, may live as a beast, as a domestic animal, as a bird, or as a womb-born, or as something standing in some relationship to you. This being so, how can the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, who desires to approach all living beings as if they were himself, and to practice the Buddha truths, eat the flesh of any living being that is of the same nature as himself? Even Mahamati, the Rakshasa, listening to the Tathagata's discourse on the highest essence of the Dharma, attained the notion of protecting Buddhism, and, feeling pity, refrains from eating flesh. How much more so those who love the Dharma? Thus, Mahamati, wherever there is the evolution of living beings, let people cherish the thought of kinship with them, and, thinking that all beings are to be loved as if they were an only child, let them refrain from eating meat.